Have you ever caught your reflection in the mirror and thought, why do I still look so young? Maybe people tell you all the time, you don't look your age, and they say it with surprise, even envy. You smile, say thank you, maybe shrug it off, but deep down, you wonder what it is. Is it luck, genetics? Something you're doing without even realizing it? The truth is there's a reason, actually many hidden reasons, why you appear younger than your years. And it's time you knew just how powerful that really is. This isn't just about appearance. It's about what your youthfulness says about who you are. Because when the world expects you to age a certain way, and you don't, it means you've done something different, something right, something rare. Maybe you've taken the harder path, made wiser choices, or simply refused to let life wear you down the way it wears down so many others. That's not just impressive, it's inspiring, and it's time you stop brushing it off and start owning it. You see, the way you look is a reflection of the life you've lived and the values you hold. It's your energy, your mindset, your choices whispering, I'm not done growing. When you look younger than your age, it's not a trick, it's a signal, a message from your body and spirit that you've stayed connected to what keeps us all alive: hope, motion, meaning, joy. It means you've guarded something that too many people give up on too soon. And here's what matters most. This youthfulness is not something that fades unless you let it. It's not fragile, it's not fleeting, it can grow stronger. The moment you realize the deeper reasons behind it, you unlock the ability to nurture it, strengthen it, and use it to live even more powerfully. That's what this journey is about. This isn't just a list of traits. This is a mirror held up to your habits, your heart, your hidden strength. And with every reason you discover, you'll find proof that you've been doing better than you thought. That you're not just lucky, you're aligned. Stay with this, because the more you uncover these hidden reasons, the more you'll understand how to protect them, how to amplify them, how to pass them on to the next version of yourself. The version that isn't worried about numbers but focused on impact, that doesn't chase youth, but radiates it from within. By the end of this, you won't just know why you look younger than your age, you'll believe in it, you'll feel it in your bones. You'll walk with more pride, more purpose, and more clarity. Not because someone told you you're youthful, but because now you know exactly why. And that knowledge, that changes everything. Keep going. The best part of you is just getting started. When people look at you, they don't just see your face, they feel something, a presence, a lightness, a kind of energy that doesn't match the number on your birth certificate. And whether you realize it or not, that energy is the true reason people say you look young. It's not just about skin, or lines, or features, it's about the invisible force you carry with you. Youth isn't an image, it's a signal, one that radiates from how you think, how you move, and how you live. That energy is built from the inside out. It's shaped by your daily attitude, by how you face life. Some people allow time to dim them, but you've stayed lit. You've kept your fire burning, not by chance, but by instinct. You chose to protect the spark inside you. You didn't let the world harden you. You didn't let routine bury your excitement. You kept reaching, feeling, connecting. And that kept your energy alive. That's why people feel drawn to you. They sense that you're still in motion, still growing, still alive in ways that others have forgotten how to be. There's something deeply powerful about someone who refuses to dim, someone who wakes up with curiosity instead of apathy, someone who sees the future not as something to fear, but as something to shape. That mindset doesn't just affect your thoughts. It affects your chemistry, your posture, your aura. When you carry that kind of energy, your body listens. It responds with vitality. It holds on to strength. It protects youth. Most people assume aging is a process of losing energy, losing passion, losing purpose. But that's only true if you believe it is. You haven't believed that. Maybe not consciously, but somewhere deep in your core you made a quiet decision to keep living fully, no matter your age. And that decision, simple, silent, strong, is what sets you apart. It's why your presence still feels fresh, why your smile still feels alive, why your eyes haven't dulled with time. You carry energy that can't be measured in years. And the beautiful thing? You can choose to deepen it, every day, by protecting your joy, by staying curious, by moving your body like it still matters, because it does. You've already proven it's possible. Now it's time to protect it like the treasure it is. Because the world needs more people like you. People who remind us that youth is not about age, it's about aliveness, it's about presence. And when you understand that, you become untouchable. You rise above the noise, you stop counting years and start creating impact. That's the power you hold. You've already unlocked the first layer. Keep going. The truth about your ageless energy is deeper than you know. And with every step, you're not just staying young, you're becoming timeless. There's a quiet kind of power in someone who respects themselves. Not loud, not showy, but deep, unwavering, and visible in every choice they make. When you respect yourself, it shows, not in words, but in the way you carry your body, in the way you care for your skin, your mind, your space. It's written in the small decisions, the ones no one sees but everyone feels, and that respect over time creates a kind of radiance that no product can fake. It builds youth from the inside and holds it there, because you've chosen to value yourself enough to protect it. Self-respect isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. It's about looking at your own life and deciding you are worth the effort, worth the sleep, worth the nutrition, worth the boundaries, worth the peace. When you live like that, your body responds. It calms down, it stops defending, it starts healing, and as it heals, it softens, it brightens, it glows, not because you're chasing youth, but because you're living with alignment. That alignment is rare, it's magnetic, and it's the reason people look at you and see something they can't quite explain. You didn't get here by accident. Somewhere along the way you stopped neglecting yourself, maybe after pain, maybe after loss, maybe quietly, without a moment you could point to. But it happened. You decided your energy was valuable. You started saying no to what drained you, yes to what nourished you. And those decisions, repeated over time, reshaped your life. They reshaped your face, your body, your presence. They created the foundation of youthfulness. And that foundation is stronger than time. It's easy to underestimate the impact of small daily choices, but they build everything. How you treat yourself in private becomes the energy you carry in public. Every glass of water, every moment of stillness, every deep breath, every limit you set. These aren't just healthy habits, they are declarations. Declarations that say, I matter. I'm not here to survive, I'm here to thrive. And your body listens, it always listens. This kind of self-respect creates a force field. It repels chaos. It draws peace. It allows your nervous system to relax. And when that happens, aging slows. Skin smooths, eyes brighten, muscles soften. Not because of surgery or illusion, but because of harmony. When your mind, body, and soul are in agreement, the world feels it. You become ageless not through denial of age, but through deep acceptance of self. And here's what's most powerful. You can choose this every day, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. Because self-respect is not about what you look like, it's about what you believe you deserve. And when you believe you deserve care, love, and peace, your body rises to match that belief. That's the real reason people see youth in you, not the surface, but the standard you live by, one choice at a time. There's a reason you don't wear every struggle on your face, a reason life hasn't carved its hardships into your skin. It's because you didn't let pain define you. You moved through it. You found strength where others found excuses. You bent, but you didn't break. And that resilience didn't just shape your character, it preserved your youth. The stress you faced didn't settle in your body because you refused to let it. You learned how to process, how to release, how to rise. And that's why you look younger than your age. You didn't just survive, you healed. Stress ages the body fast. But resilience reverses that damage. Every time you chose to breathe instead of panic, to stand up instead of collapse, to believe instead of blame, you trained your nervous system to recover. And recovery keeps your cells alive. Recovery keeps your skin clear. Recovery keeps your body strong. The world throws pressure, but you respond with presence. And that presence protects you. It creates a buffer between you and the chaos. You don't absorb everything anymore. You've learned how to filter, how to choose what stays and what goes. That choice keeps you light. That lightness keeps you young. The truth is, youth isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about transforming it. People age fast when they hold on to bitterness, when they replay regrets, when they carry guilt they were never meant to hold. But you've let go, or maybe you're still learning to. But even that willingness changes everything. Letting go is a skill, a strength. It means you trust life to keep moving, even when it hurts. And that trust softens your spirit. It unclenches your jaw. It relaxes your shoulders. It quiets the lines that pain once tried to write across your body. Every emotional wound you refused to bury became an invitation to grow. And in that growth you shed layers of heaviness. You cleared space for clarity, for peace, for joy. And those things are youth-preserving in ways no one talks about. They don't show up overnight, but they last. You've done more than look young. You've earned your youth. You've protected it by facing what others avoid. And that courage is written all over you. Resilience isn't loud. It doesn't ask for praise. It shows up quietly in how you live, how you breathe, how you respond. It shows up in your presence, in the calm in your eyes and the steadiness in your voice. And people feel it. They don't always know what it is, but they recognize it. Something unshakable, something graceful, something rare. That's the power you carry. You've been through enough to justify giving up. But you didn't. You chose strength. And that choice gave you something far greater than survival. It gave you glow. The kind of glow that doesn't fade. The kind that only comes from rising again and again. And that rise is your youth, still alive, still yours, still growing. Every day, whether you notice it or not, you make quiet choices that shape your future. Not the loud dramatic ones. The subtle ones. The ones that look ordinary to the world but are extraordinary in their effect. You reach for water when it would be easier to grab something sweet. You step outside when staying seated would be simpler. You stretch, breathe, pause, move. These tiny actions are not random. They are acts of defiance. You are quietly rebelling against the path that leads to decline. And that rebellion shows. In your skin, in your steps, in your spirit. Looking younger than your age isn't just a gift, it's a reflection of how you live. You've created a lifestyle, one that nurtures life instead of draining it. And it's not about being perfect or rigid, it's about being intentional. Even when no one is watching, you choose what supports your body, not what sabotages it. You don't do it for praise. You do it because you've learned that every decision is a signal. Every moment is a message to your future self. And you've chosen to speak in love, not neglect. There's strength in routine, not the kind that traps you, but the kind that frees you. The kind that builds momentum. The kind that tells your body, I'm with you. I'm not giving up. Your habits are not about vanity. They're about honor. You honor your sleep, your fuel, your breath. You don't chase youth, you cultivate it. You maintain it not through obsession, but through deep respect. That respect is what sets you apart. While others let life run them, you run your life. Gently, powerfully, consistently. This isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. Because when your body feels good, you feel free. You move with ease. You think clearly. You show up fully. And people notice. They may not understand why, but they sense it. That you glow different. That you walk different. That you age slower. Because you're not fighting your body. You're supporting it. Every healthy habit, every mindful moment is an act of partnership. You and your body, working together, not for perfection, but for presence. And here's what's remarkable. This lifestyle doesn't exhaust you, it fuels you. Because it's not built on pressure, it's built on love. You've learned what nourishes you and you've leaned into it. And even when you fall off track, you return, not out of guilt, but out of grace. That return matters more than any slip. That return builds the rhythm of youth, the rhythm that pulses beneath your skin, behind your eyes, through your smile. You've made 1,000 small decisions no one applauded. But your body noticed, your energy noticed, time noticed. And now, people around you are noticing too. Not because you're trying to look younger, but because you're living in alignment with what keeps us all alive. Movement, nourishment, and intention. Keep going. Every moment you choose life, life chooses you back. And it shows. What you've learned to release is just as powerful as what you've chosen to hold. And that release, the art of letting go, is one of the most overlooked reasons you still carry a youthful presence. Not everything that touches you has stayed with you. Not every hurt, every wound, every memory has been allowed to take root. You've felt it all, but you haven't kept it all. You've learned the quiet strength of emotional freedom, and that freedom has become visible, even if no one knows what they're seeing. They just know you seem lighter, calmer, clearer. That's not coincidence, that's mastery. Holding on to resentment ages the body. It weighs the chest. It hardens the eyes. It lives in the shoulders, the jaw, the stomach. But when you choose to forgive, to let go, to stop carrying what doesn't serve you, your body releases too. Your muscles loosen. Your breath deepens. Your skin softens. This isn't about forgetting. It's about no longer letting the past write your present. That choice, repeated again and again, is why you feel the way you do. Youth is not just what you keep, it's what you release. You've realized that peace is more valuable than proving a point. That walking away is sometimes wiser than winning. And that kind of emotional intelligence protects you. It shields you from the corrosive effects of chronic stress. It preserves your nervous system. It guards your sleep. It keeps you whole. This isn't weakness. This is wisdom, and your body thanks you for it every single day. It returns that peace to you through clarity, through calm, through the glow that others can't quite explain but always admire. Letting go doesn't mean you haven't felt deeply. It means you felt it all and still chosen not to let it define you. You've cried and then released. You've been disappointed and then decided to move forward. You've experienced loss and still chosen to love again. That emotional flexibility keeps you young. Because you haven't grown rigid, you haven't grown cold. You've stayed soft, open, alive. You've made space for joy by clearing out the weight of yesterday. People age faster when they hold on to what was never theirs to carry. But you've lightened your load, and that lightness travels with you. It moves through your expression. It lives in your smile. It breathes through your presence. You've created space, not just in your schedule but in your soul. And in that space, beauty lives. Real beauty, quiet, strong, undeniable. This is why your youthfulness runs deeper than skin. It's emotional, it's spiritual. It's built on choices no one sees, but everyone feels. You've shown your heart that it's safe to heal. You've taught your body that it's safe to rest. And you've reminded your mind that it's safe to let go. You've unburdened your future by releasing your past. That's not just healing, that's liberation. And that liberation has made you lighter, freer, younger, without ever trying to be. There is nothing more youthful than truth. Not the truth you speak to others, but the truth you live with yourself. When you are no longer pretending, no longer performing, no longer trying to become someone for the sake of approval, something changes. A heaviness lifts. A tension disappears. The stress of pretending fades, and what's left is peace. And peace shows. It lives in your skin. It softens your face. It shines through your eyes. You look younger because you are no longer at war with who you are. Authenticity is one of the rarest forms of freedom. Most people never fully taste it. They chase trends, wear masks, lose themselves trying to belong. But you've chosen differently. Whether through growth, pain, or clarity, you've come home to yourself. You've stopped apologizing for your voice, your choices, your direction. That alignment with your true self isn't just emotional, it's biological. When you stop living in conflict with yourself, your nervous system relaxes. When your nervous system relaxes, healing begins. And when healing begins, youth returns. The weight of pretending is invisible but heavy. It drags on your energy. It tightens your body. It floods your thoughts. You've freed yourself from that. Maybe not all at once, maybe not perfectly, but enough to shift everything, enough to live in alignment. And alignment is powerful. It gives you back your time, your clarity, your presence. It sharpens your intuition. It deepens your breath. It reminds you that you don't have to be anyone else. You just have to be fully, unapologetically you. You've stopped filtering your truth to be more digestible. You've stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. You've realized that the real you is more than enough. That realization rewrites everything. Your posture changes. Your walk changes. Your presence becomes undeniable. And people see it. They may not say it out loud, but they feel it. They feel the confidence of someone who's not playing a role. They feel the calm of someone who knows who they are. And that kind of calm is ageless. It takes courage to live this way, to stop performing, to start living with integrity, not just in public, but in private. That courage is rare, but it's also healing. It keeps you connected to joy, to simplicity, to real rest. And when you're connected to those things, you don't just survive, you glow. Because nothing is more attractive, more magnetic, more alive than someone who is fully themselves. This is why you look younger. Because you've returned to your essence, and that essence was never broken, never lacking, never old. It was just waiting for you to come back. And you did. You walked through the noise, through the pressure, through the expectations, and you found your way home. Not to perfection, but to truth. And that truth made you timeless, because nothing ages faster than pretending, and nothing heals faster than being real. Keep choosing truth, keep choosing you. That choice will keep you young forever. There's a quiet revolution happening inside you. Every time you choose to keep growing, instead of staying stuck in who you used to be, you rewrite the way time affects you. You don't let your age define your evolution. You still ask questions. You still seek answers. You still believe that becoming more is always possible. And that belief, more than anything, is why you continue to look younger than your age. You didn't freeze in place. You stayed in motion. And motion is life. Growth isn't always loud. It doesn't always look like big leaps. Sometimes it's found in the books you reach for, the conversations you lean into, the new ideas you allow to challenge you. That openness rewires you. It sharpens your mind, expands your heart, and keeps you mentally alive. And when the mind stays alive, the body follows. Stagnation is the real aging process. It creeps in when people decide they've learned enough, lived enough, or changed enough. But you never made that choice. You kept evolving. This is what sets you apart. You haven't let life dull your curiosity. You still ask what's next, not out of fear but out of hunger. You stay interested, and interest is youthful. It brightens your face. It lifts your energy. It keeps your spirit alert and awake. People notice it, even if they can't explain it. You carry a kind of enthusiasm that isn't common in a world that tells people to slow down, settle in, and stop dreaming after a certain point. But you didn't stop. You won't stop. Because you know that forward is the only way to truly feel alive. This growth mindset isn't just a habit. It's a mindset born from humility. You never assumed you knew it all. You understood that the moment you stop learning, you start decaying. So you kept your mind open. You explored. You listened. You took risks, even small ones. You kept yourself uncomfortable enough to stay present. And presence is a gift most people lose. But you held on to it. You stayed awake in your own life. You refused to go on autopilot. You've given yourself permission to change. And in doing so, you've stayed in touch with the most essential parts of youth: wonder, curiosity, and the belief that your best self is still unfolding. That belief makes you magnetic, not because you're trying to look young, but because you live like someone who still believes in what's possible. And that belief becomes visible. It becomes a glow. It becomes a kind of quiet power that time can't touch. Looking young is never the goal. Feeling alive is. And the more alive you feel, the more life rises in your body, in your voice, in your presence. That's why you stand out. That's why age seems confused when it looks at you. Because you didn't settle. You grew. You're still growing. And that growth is what keeps you timeless. Your body was never meant to be still. It was designed to move, to stretch, to breathe, to carry you forward through life, not just functionally, but freely. When you move, you don't just activate muscles, you activate energy. You send signals through your entire system that say, I am here, I am alive, I am not done. That message isn't just heard by your mind, it's heard by every cell in your body. And it shows, in the way your shoulders sit back, in the way your skin breathes, in the way your presence feels open instead of closed. Youthfulness is motion, and you've kept moving. You don't have to run marathons to look alive. You just have to refuse to settle into stillness. A body in motion invites life to flow through it. Blood carries nutrients, oxygen fuels your brain, muscles stay active, joints stay open, and your posture stays proud. When you move consistently, even gently, your body rewards you with energy, with clarity, with strength. And that strength doesn't just stay inside, it radiates outward. It lifts your face, it brightens your eyes. It leaves people wondering how you do it, how you manage to look younger while others feel like they're fading. You move because you respect your vessel. You don't treat it like a burden, you treat it like a gift. That reverence becomes a rhythm. Walks that clear your mind, stretches that release tension, movement that recenters you. You're not obsessed with the outcome, you're in love with the process. That consistency becomes a signal to your body that it is safe to grow, not shrink, to open, not close, to thrive, not just survive. Stillness breeds stagnation, but your life has refused to stay stuck. You've moved forward physically, emotionally, spiritually. And every time you've done that, your body has mirrored it. It stayed responsive. Youth isn't just preserved by genetics. It's built through flow, through action, through refusing to let stress pool in your joints, your spine, your heart. You've kept that energy moving. And in doing so, you've kept yourself young. You've learned that movement isn't punishment, it's liberation. It's not something you owe, it's something you get to do, a privilege, not a chore. When you move, you return to yourself. You shake off what doesn't belong. You realign with your purpose. You come back into your body, not to change it, but to honor it. And that honor shows in the way you walk into rooms, in the way you sit with ease, in the way people feel uplifted just by your presence. You don't need to chase youth, you embody it. Because youth is not found in stillness, it's found in the gentle, powerful rhythm of motion. And you've stayed in that rhythm. You've kept yourself in motion, and motion has kept you alive. Not just existing, but alive, fully, vibrantly, unapologetically. Keep moving, keep choosing life, and life will keep choosing you. Stress does not just cloud the mind, it corrodes the body. It wears down your system slowly, quietly, like water against stone. It steals rest, stiffens the muscles, accelerates aging, at a pace no clock can measure. But you've learned something most people never do. Stress is not the enemy. Attachment to it is. You've stopped letting tension control you. You've learned how to meet chaos without becoming it. You've discovered how to breathe through pressure, how to pause before reaction, how to step back and protect your inner calm like it's sacred. Because it is. That calm you've built isn't weakness, it's power under control. While the world around you races, you've learned to move with presence. You don't chase noise. You don't bow to urgency. You've chosen inner authority over external panic, and that choice has a price, but also a gift. The price is discipline. The gift is vitality. Your calm has preserved you. It has kept your immune system strong, your skin clear, your digestion steady, your sleep deep. People think it's luck. It isn't. It's self-mastery. And it radiates through everything you do. You've stopped fighting battles that don't belong to you. You've learned to set limits with your time, your energy, your mind. That boundary is health. It's healing. It's the invisible armor that allows you to stay soft in a hard world. You no longer waste your nervous system on the opinions of others, on the weight of imaginary futures, on the noise of the past. You focus on now. And that focus is youth. Because youth is not about how little you've lived. It's about how fully you live where you are. You've made peace a priority, and not the kind that hides from life, but the kind that walks into the middle of it and refuses to lose its center. You cultivate that peace daily, through breath, through silence, through intention. And that daily practice isn't optional. It's vital. Because you understand that no outside source can protect your youth if your mind stays in turmoil. You've taken back that responsibility, and because of that, you glow with something deeper than skincare and stronger than genes. You glow with inner safety. This is what makes you different. Not that life hasn't challenged you, but that you refuse to stay overwhelmed. You didn't drown in the tide. You learned to float. You learned to let go. You learned to breathe when the weight pressed down. And now your body carries that wisdom. It remembers. It reflects. It shows the strength you've earned, not by clenching, but by surrendering. You don't look younger because you've escaped stress. You look younger because you've stopped feeding it. You've given your nervous system a new story, one of peace, of trust, of stillness. And that story is being written across your face, your breath, your life. This is not an illusion. This is what it looks like when someone chooses calm over chaos, again and again, until peace becomes their power. Joy is not a reward you wait for. It's a state you choose, and that choice is one of the greatest secrets behind your youthfulness. You've stopped postponing happiness. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create it. You find beauty in the ordinary. You let laughter in even when life is heavy. And that joy, raw, simple, and real, becomes medicine. It lifts the shadows from your face. It relaxes the corners of your mouth. It adds a spark to your eyes that no product could ever imitate. Joy is ageless, and you've let it become your foundation. You understand something that many forget. Joy is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Without it, life hardens. The body stiffens. The soul dims. But when you let joy move through you, your body listens. It releases tension. It boosts healing. It balances your hormones. It clears your mind. This isn't illusion. It's biology. And it's powerful. Every time you choose gratitude over resentment, presence over worry, celebration over self-criticism, you tell your body, I'm safe here. And in safety, the body thrives. It doesn't age in fear. It grows in freedom. You've stopped believing that happiness is something you earn. You've realized it's something you allow. That shift changed everything. Because when joy is no longer conditional, it becomes constant. It becomes woven into how you walk, how you speak, how you connect. You bring light into rooms not because you force it, but because you carry it naturally. And people feel that. They can't always explain it, but they know there's something about you that makes them feel lighter, too. That's the quiet impact of living in joy. You don't chase highs, you anchor in contentment. You know the difference. You're not addicted to excitement. You're devoted to peace. That devotion shows in how you smile with your whole face, in how your laughter comes from your core, in how you listen with presence instead of distraction. That level of emotional availability is rare, and it makes you magnetic, because people aren't just drawn to beauty. They're drawn to the energy that beauty is built from. And yours is built from joy. This kind of joy doesn't come from avoiding life's struggles. It comes from choosing light even in the middle of them. It comes from finding humor when things feel uncertain. It comes from dancing through the ordinary. And in doing so, you've created something few people ever do, a life that reflects inner harmony, a life that mirrors the youth of the soul, not loud but luminous, not forced but flowing. You look younger because your joy hasn't been buried. It's alive, accessible, undeniable. And every time you protect it, you protect your youth. Every time you nurture it, you nurture your light. You've made joy a non-negotiable. And because of that, time has softened its grip on you. Because joy, when lived fully, is the one thing age can never take. And you've made it your truth. There's something timeless about someone who knows how to protect their energy. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You don't let everyone have access to your inner world. You've learned that not every voice deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Not every situation deserves your reaction. That discernment has become your strength. And, in a world that is constantly pulling, demanding, overwhelming, you've become centered, clear, grounded. And that groundedness preserves your youth in ways few ever understand. A scattered mind creates a scattered life, and a scattered life wears down the body. When you're always reacting, always absorbing, always being pulled in 100 directions, your system burns out, it weakens, it ages. But you've stopped giving your energy away so easily. You've created space between what happens and how you respond. That space is where your power lives. That space is where you breathe, recalibrate, return. You don't rush to please. You don't chase validation. You protect your inner peace like a sacred flame, and it shows in the calm of your expression, in the softness of your body, in the stillness of your presence. You don't let chaos become your identity. Even when life gets loud, you stay quiet inside. You've found your anchor, and that anchor isn't built on control. It's built on clarity. You know what matters. You know what drains you. You've removed yourself from environments that cost too much, from people who confuse love with control, from habits that looked harmless but slowly stole your joy. That decision to protect your energy wasn't selfish, it was sacred. And that sacred choice has kept your light strong, your body steady, your spirit free. You've stopped fighting battles that don't belong to you. You've realized that being constantly available is not a virtue, it's a leak. You no longer hand over your peace just to be seen as nice, agreeable, or easy. You've drawn lines, not to shut people out, but to keep your truth intact. You know that every boundary you set is a promise to yourself, a promise that says, I matter, my peace matters, my life is mine. That kind of self-respect becomes visible. It changes your posture, it changes your tone, it changes the way you enter a room, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. You don't demand attention, you command it, because your energy isn't scattered, it's focused, and focused energy glows. It doesn't burn out, it doesn't fade, it shines with intention, with grace, with presence. You look younger because you're not constantly drained. You've preserved yourself, not by hiding from the world, but by refusing to be consumed by it. You've learned that real power is quiet, real peace is intentional, and real youth is not sustained by chance, it's protected by boundaries. You've created a life where your energy flows inward, before it flows outward, and that inward strength is what time cannot touch. There's a kind of beauty that doesn't fade, because it isn't based on trends, appearances, or approval. It's based on alignment. When your outer life reflects your inner truth, something rare begins to happen. You radiate peace, not forced, not manufactured, real peace, the kind that draws people in without a word. You don't wear a mask. You don't chase attention. You simply exist in harmony with yourself, and that harmony creates a magnetic presence, one that feels light, clean, effortless. That's what people see when they say you look younger. They're responding to the absence of conflict within you. Inner peace is youth. When the mind is at war, the body follows. It tenses, it breaks down, it dulls. But you've stepped away from that noise. You no longer entertain every fear, every doubt, every judgment that tries to pull you out of yourself. You listen carefully, choose wisely, and move gently. You don't react. You respond. You don't perform. You align. And in doing so, you've become a reflection of stability in a chaotic world. That stability shows up in your face, your tone, your posture, your breath. You've become calm in motion, stillness in form. There's nothing more powerful than someone who feels at home in their own life. You've created that home not by chance, but by design. You've let go of roles that never fit you. You've released standards that were never yours. You've stopped trying to prove your worth and started simply being worthy. That shift is the real glow-up, and it doesn't fade with time. It deepens. It becomes more refined, more natural, more undeniable. You're not trying to be seen. You're seen because there's nothing blocking your light anymore. You don't need to impress anyone. That pressure is gone. And with it, so is the anxiety, the overthinking, the self-betrayal. You've learned to trust yourself, to follow your intuition, to listen to your body when it whispers, not just when it screams. That kind of trust builds peace, and that peace is written all over you. It's visible in the way you move through life without force, without fear, without resistance. People can't always explain it, but they know it when they feel it. You carry the energy of someone who is free. This is what makes you different. It's not the absence of years, it's the presence of peace. You've reclaimed your time, your energy, your identity. You no longer chase validation because you no longer need it. You've remembered who you are beneath the noise, and that remembering has healed you. It's softened your face, relaxed your body, rewired your nervous system. That's why you glow. Not because you're trying to stay young, but because you've returned to wholeness. You didn't just find peace, you built it. And you live in it now, quietly, steadily, proudly. That's why time doesn't seem to touch you. Because what you've created inside is timeless, and it's only growing stronger. You carry something most people lose over time, the decision to keep your heart open, not just to love but to life itself, to experiences, to growth, to the possibility that even now, something beautiful is still ahead of you. That quiet, unshakable hope keeps you soft in all the right ways, not naive, not fragile, soft in spirit, soft in presence, soft in the way you see the world. That softness is not weakness, it's your strength, and it shows in the way you connect, in the way you're present, in the way your energy wraps around others like light. So many close their hearts to protect themselves. They harden, build walls, create distance. And with that protection comes stagnation. Vitality fades, expression dulls, laughter becomes rare. But you chose differently. You chose to keep loving, to keep trusting, even if slowly, even if carefully. That choice has kept your soul awake. It has kept your emotions alive. It has kept you fully human. And that full expression of humanity, raw, imperfect, open, is what makes you appear younger than your years. You haven't shut down. You've stayed available to joy, to beauty, to change. There's a different glow in people who live with an open heart. You can't replicate it. You can't fake it. It comes from a place of authenticity that only grows with time. It says, I've lived, I've hurt, I've healed, and I still believe in good. That belief is rare, but it's powerful. It shapes your energy. It lifts your face. It draws others in. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Realness invites connection. Connection invites life, and life invites youth. You've stopped letting pain close the door on possibility. You've stopped assuming the worst. You've stopped rehearsing disappointment. And that quiet courage, the choice to believe again, is rewriting the way time touches you. You're not living from fear. You're living from alignment. You're living from a place that says, even if I get hurt, I will not become bitter. Even if I fall, I will not stay down. Even if the world hardens, I will remain soft. That softness becomes strength. It becomes youth. It becomes freedom. You're not chasing anyone's version of beauty. You've found your own. It lives in how you give, how you care, how you listen. It lives in how you show up with sincerity, with humility, with grace. That kind of beauty doesn't age. It deepens, and people feel it. They might comment on your skin, your smile, your lightness. But what they're really seeing is the result of years spent choosing openness over fear. And that choice leaves a mark, not just on you, but on everyone you meet. You don't look younger because life has been easy. You look younger because you've stayed open when it would have been easier to close. That's a choice. That's a practice. That's your power. Keep your heart open. That's where your youth lives. That's where your light begins. You've stopped waiting for the world to slow down before you start living. That's why you glow differently. You've realized that time isn't the enemy, it's the canvas, and you're not wasting it chasing things that don't feed your spirit. You've chosen presence over pressure, depth over distraction, meaning over momentum, and because of that, you radiate a calm vibrancy that can't be replicated by trends or treatments. It comes from the inside, from a decision to live on purpose, not in reaction. So many people are aging faster because they're chasing a life that doesn't even belong to them, comparing, competing, consuming, always reaching, but never arriving, always doing, but never being. That kind of existence burns through joy. It exhausts the soul. But you stepped away from that cycle. You've learned to listen, to slow down, not to stop, but to align, to check in, to breathe before acting. That mindfulness has rewired you. It's reset your rhythm. It's returned you to yourself. And that return is why you feel light, steady, and awake. When you live in alignment with your values, your whole system works better. You sleep better, you digest better, you smile easier, you age slower, because you're not suppressing who you are just to fit into places you've outgrown. You're not silencing your truth for comfort or convenience. You're living with clarity. You've simplified, not out of lack, but out of wisdom. You've cleared space in your life so that the things that really matter can thrive. And in that space, you've grown younger, not just in appearance, but in soul. Presence creates beauty. It creates peace. It creates energy. When you are here, fully here, you access a power that doesn't just heal your life, it heals your body. You digest life differently. You stop clenching against the moment. You start receiving it, accepting it, responding with intention instead of resistance. That change creates ease, and ease shows in your breath, in your tone, in your skin. It becomes who you are, not something you perform. You've stopped rushing, not because you're lazy, but because you've realized that rushing is not the same as progress. You've chosen to move with grace, not panic, with awareness, not urgency. And that grace has preserved your youth. It's softened your nervous system. It's allowed you to live from the inside out. You don't collapse under pressure anymore. You rise in presence. And people feel that. They don't always understand it, but they recognize something rare. Someone who is not ruled by time, but guided by truth. This is why age doesn't define you. Because you're not living by numbers. You're living by intention. You're not chasing what's next. You're rooted in what's real. That rooting keeps you strong. That simplicity keeps you light. That presence keeps you alive in a way most people forget. You don't look younger because you're avoiding life. You look younger because you're finally living it, all the way. And it shows. You've mastered something rare, the art of self-compassion. And that mastery is etched into your expression, your posture, your energy. You don't punish yourself with constant criticism. You don't drain your mind with guilt. You don't feed your soul with shame. Instead, you've created a relationship with yourself that is rooted in patience, kindness, and forgiveness. That kind of relationship heals you from the inside out. It restores balance. It slows the wear and tear. It softens the edges of time. And people feel it. They may not know what they're sensing, but they see it in your calm. They hear it in your voice. They witness it in the way you carry yourself. Most people are aging under the weight of their own judgment. They speak harshly to themselves, tear down their reflection, relive their regrets. That constant, internal war writes itself into the body. It shows up in the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders. But you've chosen peace. You've stopped treating your imperfections like punishable offenses. You've learned to meet yourself with the same understanding you once reserved only for others. That shift changes everything, not just emotionally, but biologically. Because the body responds to the mind's message, and your message has become love. You no longer motivate yourself through pressure or pain. You lead with grace. You encourage growth, but you don't tie your worth to outcomes. You've released the need to prove yourself constantly. And in that release, you've found real freedom. That freedom has become part of your presence. It shows in the way your face rests, in the way your eyes don't dart with worry, in the way your hands don't tremble from tension. You've calmed the storm inside, and now your outer world reflects that calm. This isn't about perfection. It never was. It's about acceptance. You've stopped resisting who you are. You've stopped waiting to be enough, and that deep acceptance has become your glow. The glow of someone who belongs to themselves. The glow of someone who is not waiting to become worthy, but already is. That inner knowing is rare. It can't be bought. It can't be borrowed. It must be built. And you've built it, one moment of self-forgiveness at a time. You look younger because you've dropped the emotional weight. You're not carrying years of self-hate. You're not hiding behind masks. You're not shrinking in shame. You're standing in truth. You're walking in wholeness. And that wholeness becomes light. It becomes resilience. It becomes radiance. Not the kind that comes from effort, but the kind that rises naturally when you're at peace with yourself. This is what people notice. Not just the skin, not just the smile, but the absence of inner war. The softness of someone who finally feels safe in their own presence. You've become your own ally. And that alliance has become your fountain of youth. One act of self-compassion at a time. One breath of grace at a time. One choice to love yourself exactly as you are. You've stopped abandoning yourself. That's the deepest reason why time hasn't claimed you the way it claims others. You no longer disconnect from your needs, your feelings, your truth, just to keep peace on the outside. You've stopped betraying your inner voice to meet expectations you never agreed to. That commitment to self-loyalty has changed your energy. It's shifted your nervous system from survival to safety. And that safety becomes visible. It becomes calm, softness, strength, not just in how you show up, but in how you rest, how you recover, how you heal. There is a very real cost to self-abandonment. Every time you ignore what you feel, every time you silence what you know, every time you say yes when your soul says no, your body carries that weight. Your skin tightens, your breath shortens, your spirit dims. But you've learned the opposite. You've learned that the greatest act of youth is not in resisting aging, it's in returning to yourself. Returning, over and over, until the inner you and the outer you are finally living in harmony. And harmony is what keeps you light. You've stopped running from yourself. No more numbing. No more hiding behind roles, routines, or distractions. You've chosen to face your truth, not avoid it. And in that honesty, you found relief. You found freedom. You found permission to be whole, not polished, not perfect, whole. That wholeness is what people are drawn to. It's what they see in your glow, even if they can't name it. It's what makes you look younger, because you are no longer eroding from the inside. You honor your emotions now, not because they're always comfortable, but because they're always real. You've given yourself space to feel, to process, to grow. And in that emotional integrity, you've released what no longer belongs: grief, shame, guilt, resentment. You've stopped carrying it. You've stopped burying it. You've let it pass through you instead of letting it stay stuck inside. That release doesn't just bring peace, it brings lightness. And that lightness becomes vitality. A vitality that is not artificial, a vitality that lasts. You don't abandon your body anymore. You listen to it, you nourish it. You rest when it asks, you move when it needs. That respect has deepened your connection to yourself. You're not living at war with your reflection. You're not punishing yourself for being human. You've embraced the truth that care is not weakness, that rest is not laziness, that slowing down is not failure. And that radical permission has brought life back into your face, your walk, your presence. This is why age does not define you, because you are no longer losing yourself trying to be who you're not. You've come home, fully, repeatedly, fiercely. And that return to self is why you shine. You don't just look younger, you feel alive, because you are no longer leaving yourself behind. You're standing in your truth, rooted, whole, and absolutely radiant.